Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. This is just a quick recording for Lab 3. Unfortunately, as you all know, we were not able to cover it during class, so I'm going to show you exactly what to do, and please try to apply it on the lab during this week before the midterm next week. So first, of course, this is where we stopped last time. This is our first virtual machine, FAB DC1, and you can see it is already joined to domain. So, and IPv4 settings has been configured properly. So this is where you should be after Lab 2. Okay, you should have at least one virtual machine joined to domain under this name with the following IPv4 settings. Let me just show you. Okay, if you have this virtual machine ready, then that means you are ready to start Lab 3. Lab 3 is very easy. Let me close this. All we need to do is create a new virtual machine actually. And this virtual machine, we will call it fab-dc2. We select generation 1. For the memory, we can put it up to 4 GB. For the switch, of course, again, the private switch that we created during Lab 1. Next. Operating system, we have to select the ISO file for Windows Server 2019. Finish. This will create the virtual machine, and of course now we need to install Windows Server on it. The system to create. Okay, let me try again. Let me change the name of the HDX. It's already created before. Okay. Now all we need to do is, of course, as usual, go to settings, boost the virtual CPU count, make sure that everything is set up correctly, press OK, double click, and then start. As usual, we have to select Windows Server Desktop Experience. We try to select, of course, data center. If data center is not available, it's okay. We can select standard for the version. Next, install now. The main difference between Lab 1 and Lab 2 basically is that this virtual machine, this server will actually join to domain, to fabricam.com domain that we created previously. Select custom, no need to select anything here, next, and then it will start installing. So these are the minimum requirements for the virtual machine, okay? And we have done all these steps already in page 1. And we did the virtual machine configuration, as you can see. Now we did the installation as well. So we are done with all these steps. Of course, when it asks for password, we are not going to use this password. We're going to use ktech@123.com. And again, this password, please try to use it everywhere, so you will not forget it. Okay, it's easier to remember than this one, for example. And then we are actually going to start with this step, which is changing the IP configuration. Afterwards, we'll be able to join it to domain, and with that, Lab 4 will be completed. So Lab 3, sorry. And as I mentioned, the midterm will be until Lab 3. So Lab 3 During the midterm, you'll be tasked to create at least two virtual machines. You'll be tasked to create at least two virtual machines. The first virtual machine is FabDC1 with the Active Directory and DNS and DHCP, and of course with the IP configuration. You have to learn how to set up this IP configuration. And the virtual machine number 2, of course, is the one we are creating right now. So all of this will be included in the midterm. Please memorize the steps. Make sure you know how to change IP settings, how to change computer name, how to join a PC to domain, how to add roles and features. All of these are requirements. I will send it to you by Teams announcement very soon also. Let's just wait for it until it's complete. And meanwhile, let me show you after the IP configuration. Basically, what we're going to do is through Server Manager console, we will go to change, where we change the PC name first time. Of course, we have to change the PC name for this one as well. We'll do it very quickly. And then there is something called domain. By default, it will be workgroup. So we need to leave the workgroup domain and join fabricam.com domain, which is here. You can see this virtual machine if I open it. Be this domain basically. Okay. You need to click on computer name. We'll do these steps, and here you need to change it from here. Of course, I not recommended at all to change the PC name or the server name for the server providing DNS and DHCP and Active Directory services. Once you set it up, better to leave it unchanged. Okay, so this is regarding the domain point. Almost done. Slowly. Installation speed, of course, depends on the machine specifications. Most of the lab machines are actually good enough to handle two virtual machines at the same time, so you should not face any issue having two running at the same time. Keep the RAM of both virtual machines at around 4 GB. Don't push it more than 4 GB, otherwise it will choke the host machine. Okay, I think it is almost done. We'll start now. Of course, important note, after restarting, it's recommended to turn off the virtual machine after the first installation is done. Go to File, Settings, and then remove the DVD drive. There is no need to keep it there. Again, this some of you got stuck at this point. It is going in loop, okay, basically. Booting from DVD over and over again. This is not what we want. So from here you can go to DVD drive. We already installed Windows 7, so we don't need it anymore. So you can press remove and click on OK. This will automatically adjust the boot order even, and then we should be able to boot directly into Windows without the press any key to boot from DVD message showing up. Just give it a second. Of course, after the first boot, it will prompt us to enter the password. for the administrator account. So the task that we need to do, change the PC name, reboot, change the network settings, and then join to domain. These are the tasks in order. Done. Just make note of. You can see it is, I think, at around it's not mentioned in the steps, but we need to actually set PC name to be 5DC2. For the steps, I think it's missing. Oh, it's here actually. Yeah. Once logged in, go to System Properties, Computer Name, and then change it to 5DC2. Okay. So set the password. Again, this is the password we use for everything, and I recommend you stick to it for anything that requires password, so you don't forget it. Okay. Finish, connect. Now, once Server Manager loads up, all we need to do is go to Local Server tab, and then click on the computer name here. Change it to tab PC2. Press OK. It will give us a pop-up message that reboot is required. Close, then restart now. This is the first step. The second step is to adjust the network settings. You can see the network settings are mentioned here. Okay. Changing network settings is also from the same location, local server. You can see IPv4. I'll click on it. Right click, properties on the Ethernet adapter. Go to IPv4 properties and then apply the same IP address 172.16.0.11. Subnet mask, if you click once, it will be auto populated. and then 172.16.10 for the primary DNS server. And for the secondary is the loopback 127.0.0.1. Okay, now after this is done, the last step is to join two domains. Hopefully it will be able to see the Fabricam domain. Okay, it's asking for the domain password, which means that it is able to see it. So the domain password should be administrator for the username. It is mentioned here, I believe, or not. In the join domain step. For username, it's the server, exactly, yeah. So after you type administrator, you should type the same password that you used. After you type the same username and password, you should see this message. If you don't get this message, double check the username and password, it should work. If you don't actually see the entire domain, that means there are some IP configuration missing. After typing OK, again it will ask us to restart now, and with that lab 3 is done. Now there are additional requirements like installing DNS server, but we will delay them until lab 4 actually. So lab 3 is until this page only, until joining domain step. Afterwards, of course, it will reboot the server, will try to apply the policies, domain GPOs, and that should be it really. So in the end, you'll have two servers, this server and the second server, and you can see it's already now in domain. How can I tell it's in domain? You can see it's mentioned here, Fabricam. But I'll type in my only user, and then the password. That should be it. To confirm that everything is working, of course, this is where you take the one and only screenshot that I need from you. The one and only screenshot that I need from you is from here. Go to local server tab and take a screenshot of this page. That's it. Because from here I can tell that the computer name is correct, the domain is correct. Please also try to make it this way, like this is the first virtual machine. Okay. Open the second virtual machine and have it overlapping like this. Yes. And take a screenshot of both VMs. So I need to see that the first VM is here, fabdc1, fabricam.com, and IP settings 172.16.10. And the second is here. I need to see both. Okay. And that's it. Thank you. The lab is very easy. If you face any trouble doing the lab, please pass by my office and I'll be available to assist you. Thank you all.